Mercedes have been known to play down their chances of success during testing, despite having won the last 8 constructor titles in a row. But Lewis Hamilton seemed genuinely concerned at the end of 2022 preseason running that the Silver Arrows wouldn't be in the mix for wins early this year. So in today's video, we're going to talk about why Hamilton says Mercedes won't be competing for wins with car in current state. Without further ado, let's begin. Mercedes unveiled their radically revised W13 Challenger on the first morning of Bahrain's official preseason test, showing off the machine's drastically slimmed-down side pods and reshaped floor, but struggles with porpoising, where a car bounces as it loses and regains downforce, and overall balance on the W13 conspire to leave 7-time champion Hamilton worried ahead of the season-opening Bahrain Grand Prix on March 20th. The upshot in preseason testing has been Hamilton and teammate George Russell insisting Mercedes is on the back foot and identifying Ferrari, which had more aero testing time, as the team to beat. That has been challenged by doubters who believe Mercedes is just downplaying its performance, but Hamilton insists that the team is in an even trickier situation than last year, when a problematic Bahrain test was followed by victory in the season opener. "At the moment, I don't think we can compete for wins," said Hamilton on Saturday afternoon. "Obviously next week we will get a much better showing of pace, but I think other people will surprise maybe. People keep talking about us talking ourselves down, but it's a bit different this year. We are not the quickest at the moment," he added. "I think Ferrari looked to be the quickest, perhaps Red Bull, and then maybe us or McLaren, I don't know. But we are currently not at the top." From the outside, the situation appears similar to last year, where Mercedes W12 appeared difficult to handle in Bahrain testing, only for Hamilton to beat Max Verstappen to victory in the opening race that same venue. But Hamilton said the scenario was different this year, while adding that, despite his misgivings, he still believes Mercedes' car has potential. "It feels a lot different to 2021, said Hamilton. "It's not going to look as good as it did last year, with the difficult season we had, and then switch over to the race. I think we have far bigger challenges this time and turnaround that will take a lot longer. From what I'm told, we have a lot of pace to find. But there is potential within the car to get us there," he added. "We've just got to learn to exact it and fix some of the problems, which is what we are working on. Everyone is doing an incredible job back at the factory, working as hard as they can, but we have some hurdles to overcome." Despite Hamilton's lack of confidence, Mercedes at least ran reliably through Bahrain's official preseason test, clocking up a leading 385 laps across the 3 days in Sakir, with the season-opening Bahrain Grand Prix weekend up next on March 18th to the 20th. He did not expect the team to fight for wins in its current form, and says that if people do not believe that, they will be surprised in next weekend's Bahrain Grand Prix. Asked if he can fight for the title this year, he says, "Obviously, it's a bit too early to have those kinds of thoughts. At the moment, I don't think we'll be competing for wins, but there's a potential within the car to get us there. We've just got to extract it and find our problems. That's what we're working on. Everyone's doing a fantastic job, working as hard as they can." Mercedes has brought a significant car upgrade to the second test, which is taking time to understand. It is also battling porpoising more than most teams, and Hamilton described that as a hurricane. That is something afflicting everyone to some extent, while the rule changes have provided plenty of challenges in terms of understanding the new way the cars generate lap time, fast and high-speed corners but slower at low speed. On the 2022 cars in general, Hamilton said, "The regulations have meant everyone is sliding around and we all seem to have a little less grip than before. The tires are worse this year. On the long runs, it's physically a lot easier for me. But the positive so far, following other cars, is better. Hopefully that's the right direction." I hope we can get some better tires at some stage, or maybe they will work better in places it's not so hot. I think Ferrari looks to be the quickest, and perhaps Red Bull, and then maybe us or McLaren, I don't know. But we're certainly not at the top. The team is in a much more difficult situation than it was 12 months ago, said Hamilton. It feels a lot different. It's not going to look as good as it did last year when the difficult session we had in practice and then switched over to the race. I think we have far bigger challenges this time, and they're not one-week turnarounds. It will take a little bit longer, but from what I'm told, we have a considerable amount of pace to find. Ferrari's Carlos Sainz Jr. said yesterday Mercedes were downplaying expectations ahead of the new season. But Hamilton says those who believe they are playing a PR game with the comments over their lack of performance are in for a surprise. At the moment, I don't think we'll be competing for wins, but there is potential within the car to get us there. We've just got to learn to be able to extract it and fix some of the problems, which is what we're working on. Everyone's doing such an incredible job back at the factory, working as hard as they can, but we have some hurdles to overcome. Obviously, next week we'll get a much better showing of pace. But I think people will be surprised, maybe. Or at least the people who keep talking about we're talking ourselves down. It's a bit different this year. If Ferrari gets it right, he might have a crack at challenging his old rival Verstappen. The 24-year-olds haven't always got on, and Leclerc said it was tense between them during their karting years. A microscopic examination of tension is all the rage now in F1, largely thanks to Netflix Drive to Survive, which started to air in 4th season on Friday in time to spice things up on track. It takes an inside look at F1 drivers and team officials, showing heated arguments and other incidents in the globe-trotting racing series. Not everyone's a fan. I'm quite a down-to-earth guy. I just want to be facts and just don't hype it up, Verstappen said. It's just not my thing. Besides, he has to focus on holding off Hamilton. But Vettel, who successfully defended the title 3 times, thinks Verstappen won't feel any extra pressure as reigning champion. You have the #1 on your car, and it's a privilege, said Vettel, who won the Red Bull from 2010 to 2013. I didn't see it as an extra burden. If anything, it was a boast, so I think he will probably feel the same. Subscribe, like, and let me know your thoughts in the comments.